Hi, this is Eric from longboxreview.com. Welcome to the show. Hey, today I'm going to be talking about some DC Comics, more specifically some solicitations from DC Comics involving their Infinite Frontier initiative or state, or I don't know. I'm not even sure what to call this thing anymore. But I wanted to talk about this stuff with my good buddy Travis, but unfortunately, because of work, he was not able to join me. And since I decided to do this last minute, I'm flying solo on this one. But boy, I'm very much missing talking with Travis about this because for people that have listened to the show for a long time, very early on in the show's run, Travis and I got together to talk about the relaunch of DC Comics, the New 52 initiative, way back when. And every time that the DC has done something like this, such as Rebirth, we have gotten together to talk about things. Anyway, I miss you, buddy, and hopefully next time DC does something like this, we can get together and chat about it. But I will soldier on anyway. So I'm looking at the DC Connect issue number 8 for January 2021, soliciting titles on sale starting March 2021. And then also, as I record this, DC released their advanced solicitations for things that are on sale starting in April. So I'll be talking a little bit about both. So this is not a previews episode per se, but there's some new things that I've noticed about these solicitations that I just wanted to talk through. So as I'm looking here at the DC Connect issue number 8, it says here, the next phase of the DC universe starts here, Infinite Frontier. Maybe they shouldn't have done the little rhymey thing, but oh well. But it's got this nice little picture of a bunch of DC characters, including the Superman from the other dimension. I can't remember his name, but he's the president in that universe, and he had a story in the DC. What is it? DC's Very Merry Multiverse that I really liked. Anyway, we've seen him before with some Grant Morrison stuff, the Multiversity books, I think. Anyway, and some other newer characters. Looks like the next Batman's on there. We've got who's here that surprised me? Blue Beetle, Alan Scott Green Lantern. Ooh, and Jade is there too. That's interesting. So. Robin in a new costume. Wally West is coming back. I saw. So and a new Flash with the more of a yellow, it looks more like a Kid Flash. And finally, Red X from the Teen Titans animated series. Oh yeah, and then there's some other characters. I just don't know who these characters are now. I feel like I'm coming back to DC Comics after a long absence, which is kind of true. Sort of, kind of. I actually haven't been reading a whole lot of monthly DC Comics recently. I decided this year that I would focus more of my money and reading on trades, collections, instead of the monthly issues. I think I've talked about this before. I'm just running out of room. And I thought trades would be a better way to go because they're more easily storable somehow. I don't know. I'm probably crazy on that. But anyway, like I said, I haven't been reading a whole lot of DC Comics monthly. And as they said here, the next phase of the DC universe starts. I did not pick up any of the Future State titles. One, like I said, I plan on reading them either through trade or the DC Universe app. So I will read them. I just decided not to get them. So some of these characters I'm sure are part of the Future State stories, the former 5G stuff that they repackaged and repurposed for this. But anyway, I feel like I don't know the DCU all that well right now, which is funny. Anyway, so I'll get into this. Now, Infinite Frontier Dark Knight's death metal has created an infinite multiverse. DC's heroes saved all of reality from the brink of destruction, and shook loose the very fabric of space and time. The entire history of the DC universe has been restored. Every epic battle that has ever happened is part of one timeline where everything matters. Well, that's interesting. And so interesting from the perspective of back in 1985 for their 50th anniversary. 50th? No, that can't be right. Whatever anniversary it was. They wanted to simplify their universe to make it more accessible to new readers. And, that's where we got Crisis on Infinite Earths and everything that came after that. And now everything matters. What? This is awesome. To me, this is awesome because I love the multiversal aspect of the DC universe. Why can't we have all that? So anyway, I've said this before, many different shows where it's like this kind of thing is exactly what I wanted. So we shall see how it actually plays out. Okay, so it continues. DC Future State, the 2-month event in January and February 2021, and we are in the middle, a quarter of the way through, so to speak, of this, gives a glimpse into the possible unwritten worlds of tomorrow. Now the DC universe is an infinite frontier of possibilities. Are the events shown in DC Future State destined to happen, or will new realities take shape? Well, I kind of think we know the answer to that. Discover what's next on the horizon for the world's greatest superheroes and supervillains. Maybe we shouldn't celebrate the supervillains as the greatest. But anyway, so that's the obviously that's the introduction, such as it is for Infinite Frontier. So now, what is different? What's new? So the very first thing that they're soliciting is Infinite Frontier number 0. So DC has a long history of doing something like this, where they give you like an 80-page comic for either free or next to nothing, to introduce you to this new status quo, this new push. New jumping on point. It even says this: don't miss this great jumping on issue that leads directly into new epics in Batman, Superman, and more. Also in this issue, the return of Stargirl. So there's a TV series, so they got to bring the character back into more of the forefront, that's fine. I have no problem with that. Like I said, Infinite Frontier number 0. It's a one-shot on sale early March. I said before that DC would often give us, a pretty cheap introductory issue. This is not cheap. This is 64 pages for $5.99. So, I guess those kinds of introductory cheap issues, those are a thing of the past, with DC, which is quite unfortunate. I remember getting like 80-page giants for like $1 to introduce this stuff. Anyway. That is what it is. These are interesting times in corporate comic books, and they're doing what they can to keep the doors open, I guess. But this is something that I will be getting for sure. A ton of different people here writing and arting. Scott Snyder, Jeff Johns, James Tynion, Joshua Williamson, pretty much the same kinds of guys that we normally see. But here's some new names to me, at least. Jeffrey Thorne, Philip Kennedy Johnson. I'll go back to known names: Michael Bendis, Becky Cloonan. Oh, great. Joel Jones, Michael Conrad. I know the name, but I can't think of what Michael has worked on. And Tim Sheridan. So nice to see that there's a couple women at least here on this list. I wish there were more, but that's what it is, I guess. Artists: John Timms, not familiar with that name. Howard Porter, Joel Jones. Oh, good, thank goodness Joel Jones is drawing some stuff. Jorge Jimenez. Aletha Martinez, David Marquez, Stephen Byrne, Jamal Igle. Oh, yes, Jamal doing some stuff. Excellent. Dexter Soy, Rafa Sandoval, Alex Malev, John Romita Jr., how great, and others, with a cover by Dan Jurgens and Mikhail Heinin. So there you go. Got a bunch of different things in there. So yeah, this book. So it says the next phase of the DC universe begins here. Dark Knight's Death Metal presented the darkest threats of the multiverse. DC Future State revealed what may lie ahead. Now it's time to look at the infinite frontier of the current day DCU. Yeah, so looking forward to it. Its whole purpose is to drum up excitement and get people to buy other books. So let's see how it does. Oh, there's a lovely. That looks like this is a variant cover by John Timms that they're showing. I assume that's a Wonder Woman-like character. Maybe one of the Future State Wonder Women. I don't know. I have no idea. And what looks to be the Spectre in the background. That looks pretty cool. Okay. Anyway. So the first book after that they show after this, much like they just in the solicitation they mentioned Batman, Superman. So Batman first, and we all know Batman pays the bills at DC Comics. Superman has definitely lost his prominence as the premier superhero at that company, which I find very unfortunate. But again, here we are. So Batman is first here. Batman Urban Legends, which is they say a new anthology series, which I love anthology series. And in fact, when I was looking at this might be my way to start buying monthly DC Comics again, just to support the format. I said this back with a New 52 when they did. I forgot the name of the anthology series that they put out for the New 52, but I definitely bought that because, and I said at the time with Travis that I really like anthology series, and so I wanted to support that. So this might be a way for me to continue to read some Batman books or Batman stories, and also help promote that. There are comic fans out there that do like anthology series, and really it's really a selfish thing, right? Because you get some stories. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 stories in this. This is 64 pages. However, here is a possible reason not to get this. $8 for this. $8 for 64 pages. Wait a minute. Didn't I just say that Infinite Frontier number 0 was also 64 pages? Yes, and it's only $5.99. Now I realize, these kinds of the kinds of issues like this Infinite Frontier number 0. Like I said, they're introductory things, and I think generally speaking they are considered loss leaders, and so they don't expect to make money off of this. But still, when you see this, and there is a $2 difference and no difference in page count, it makes it kind of hard to swallow buying this. So I don't know. Maybe I'll wait on the train. But there's a bunch of different people on this, including Chip Zdarsky, Stephanie Phillips, Matthew Rosenberg, Brandon Thomas, Eddie Barrows, Marcus Toe, Ryan Benjamin, Laura Braga, and Max Dunbar. A bunch of names I am not familiar with. So this is interesting. So anyway, you get that. There's a new Joker series, which I have no interest in reading a book about a supervillain. I pretty much lived through the last 4 years of a supervillain in the White House. I really don't need to read more comics about that. Okay, anyway. The Joker, however, number one, the reason I'm bringing this up, though, is that this is a 40-page comic, a new series, for $4.99. So we now have $5 comics from DC. I've been seeing the $4.99 price tag for like number 1 issues, like at Image, and maybe some other independents. I can't remember who exactly. No, it wasn't Image. It was Aftershock, I think. I think I made a mention of that before. And and I think Marvel's been doing more $5 comics. So, here's the last corporate comic book company to finally jump on that, which is unfortunate. I understand, prices go up. But at least DC's trying to give us some more pages with 40 pages. And then the return, and this is the other neat thing about this, if you can consider a $5 comic neat, backup stories are back. And I loved backup stories in comics back in the 80s when they did those. Same thing, they raised the price, but then they tried to give us a little bit more for our money. Of course, those always go away. So eventually those backup stories will go away. They'll probably go back down to 32 pages for $5. I'm just a wild guess. I have no idea. And I don't even know if that page count versus price is even the right breakdown. I'm sure some bean counters at DC Comics knows exactly what that means and what it should look like in the future. But anyway, so you get backup stories there. And I'm going to see how many other books like this follow that same pattern. And which is interesting because the new Suicide Squad book is only $3.99 for 32 pages. So, oh boy, I hope my prediction of $4.99 32 pages don't come true then. So yeah, that's interesting. So okay, so we still have $3.99 comics at DC. So that's really interesting. Why are they doing that? Why not just go whole hog? Well, maybe this is a nice way of saying, hey, for those that want to save money, here's these other books, or I don't know what. Maybe they don't feel like Suicide Squad will be as big of a seller as the Joker or even Harley Quinn #1 that was before this. I don't know. It's interesting the decisions that they are making now in this new era of DC Comics. Swamp Thing is a new series, but it's a miniseries, a 10-issue miniseries. So, and also $3.99, 32 pages. Interesting because in the last couple of years, DC has done a bunch of long-term miniseries, 12 issues, maxi series, if you will. And so it's interesting that they're only doing 10 for this. But this is interesting. I don't know if this has anything to do with the future state stuff, but this is a new Swamp Thing, a new character who is becoming the Swamp Thing, the next Guardian of the Green, it says. So there you go. And that preview art looks pretty cool, I have to say, by Mike Perkins, and it's written by Ram V. And I mentioned Red X before, who appeared on the cover of Infinite Frontier, and here he is again on the new Teen Titans Academy series by Tim Sheridan and Rafa Sandoval. And so this is the one where when I first heard about it in the advanced solicitations, like, oh, well, maybe I might jump back onto Teen Titans. But this is because it's a bunch of the original Titans, including Nightwing, Starfire, Raven, Cyborg, and Beast Boy, take on the role of teachers and mentors for superpowered teens. And Red X has something to do with this. So, it says, which member of the team is destined to become Red X? I don't really care. But it'd be interesting to see where that goes. So I mentioned Philip Kennedy Johnson before. So he and Phil Hester take over Superman number 29 after Brian Michael Bendis' run. So what did I think I said in the Wonder Woman Spotlight Wonder Woman anniversary issue that they put out last year, that I need to see more Phil Hester in comics, and here we go. So that's nice. But this is okay. So Superman number 29, post Bendis. This is where we go back to the $4.99, 40 pages, and we get a backup tale, written by Sean Lewis and with art by Sami Basri. So it's interesting. So I'm going to guess that the major characters are going to be these $5 books with the backups. So I guess we'll see as I go through this. And then the next one, and I only mention this because of this thing. So Action Comics 1029, also by Philip Kennedy Johnson. Phil Hester on art. Okay, so Phil Hester is doing action, and Sean Lewis is I'm sorry, Sean Lewis. I said Sean Lewis before, I think. He's doing Sean Lewis writing the backup story. Okay, I think I said that, but then originally, anyway, I need to pay more attention to what I'm reading in the credits box here. Anyway, Phil Hester is doing art on Superman and Action Comics, at least these issues. Well, and I'll talk about that later. But what's interesting about this is that the backup tale, the tale of Metropolis, continues, it says. An all new. Oh, okay. I misread that the first time that I read through this. Okay, so Superman has a. Oh, okay. Why did you do this, DC? Okay, so Superman has a Tales of Metropolis story following Jimmy Olsen on a quest. And then it says in Action, an all new backup tale of Metropolis. This is by Becky Cloonan and Michael Conrad. And it continues the Midnighter story they started in DC Future State. Okay. Tales of Metropolis in one and Tale of Metropolis in the other. That's, as an editor at the company that I work at, I would recommend not doing something like that, naming something so similar in two different publications. I understand why. I totally see it, but different backup stories and different comics. I don't know. Okay. Speaking of major characters, like I said, they started this with the new Batman anthology, but then we got into Superman, but now we're back to Batman 106. And so I'm just going to say this it continues the $4.99, 40 pages with a backup tale with Damian Wayne. So if you're a Damian Robin fan, there you go. And in Detective Comics, number 1034, so 1034. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Action is 1029. When did Detective Comics pass Action Comics in number? That's weird. So now Batman definitely has taken over the prominence in DC's publication history. Oh, well. Another major title, $4.99 and whatnot. Oh, this is what I was thinking of. Okay, so this is written by Mariko Tamaki, which I think is great. Having a female writer take on Batman, that's just awesome. With even better, Dan Mora art, not even better, just as good. Dan Mora art. I like Dan Mora art. So, oh man, now do I have to get this too? Okay, so the Damian Wayne backup story in Batman. So yeah, I was getting this backup story confused with the ones in the Superman books, because if you want to read the second concluding chapter of the backup tale that started in Batman 106, you have to get Detective Comics 1034. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that? About DC? For the completists out there, and I kind of count myself among you. I don't like to have, I don't like to not have a whole story. So I have no plan. I had no plans. I still have no plans of buying Batman. But if I were really wanting to have that backup story all in one, then I would need to buy both. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Is that okay with you? I mean, this is it's a total marketing ploy to get you to buy more issues, right? That's the cynic in me. And also, how are they going to collect this? These backup tales? Is it going to be? Are they just going to give you the whole issue in the next Batman or Detective trade? Yeah, that's interesting. Which one? Where do they put this? How are they going to collect it? all these different questions that I have about this stuff. Okay, so Infinite Frontier, all about the multiverse, right? And so I find this really interesting that in Batman Superman number 16, which is a title I've not read since its inception. I've not read it. But Jean Luen Yang is writing it with Yvonne Reis and Danny Mickey doing art. So I really like Yvonne's art. So I recently read Jean Yang's Superman Smashes the Klan, which is really good. So, but more importantly, the reason I'm talking about this, because this is just another DC comic, right? But in the aftermath of Death Metal, it says here, in the aftermath, catch a glimpse of the brave new worlds within the DC universe. But what are these strange planets? As we delve into the parallel lives of the Man of Steel and the Dark Knight, we'll meet new villains, new heroes, alternate realities, and a trans-dimensional collision that you will need to see to believe. Yeah. So they're exploring that part of that multiversal aspect. And on the cover of this, you get to see like old school Superman with stylized shield. Like originally when Superman came out, he actually the diamond shape of a shield looked more like an actual shield with the S in there. And so this is evocative of that. And then Batman, I guess you could say he looks old, like the old version, but I don't know. Different. It's different. So I am very excited about this. I may actually get that. And then you see some preview art here in the next page by Yvonne Reis. And oh my gosh. Okay. Anyway, looking forward to reading that at some point. probably in trade. Okay. I mentioned Brian Michael Bendis before, and he is back taking over Justice League number 59 with David Marquez on art. So it says here they reunite for the new Justice League, and we get what's interesting about this on the cover is you get the usual Superman, Batman, a Wonder Woman, which I think it's Hippolyta. I think they actually say, yeah, they do. They say it right here. It's Hippolyta, not Diana. So that's interesting. Aquaman is back, but this time we've got Hawk Girl. So we're kind of going for the Justice League Unlimited vibe, I guess, maybe. Naomi, which, kind of self-serving Bendis, right? And Black Adam. Black Adam on the Justice League. That's different. So, yeah, I'd be very interested in seeing where this goes. And this includes a Justice League Dark story by Ram V and Hermonico. So, if you're interested in what Ram V was doing in Justice League Dark before that series ended, I guess you get more of the same here, which was pretty good. I quite enjoyed how he ended the story. This is just the next one is. This is turning into like a DC centric previews because I'm going to talk about Nightwing. Because Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo are taking over Nightwing number 78. And this is a $3.99 book. Did I mention the Justice League book? It is. Oh no, because it's a backup tale. Of course, it's a $5 book. Nightwing. Tom Taylor on Nightwing. Is this what brings me back to Nightwing? I don't know. We shall see. But the preview art looks pretty good. The Wonder Woman book is interesting. This is, again, for a $5 book with a backup story. But Becky Cloonan and Michael Conrad are writing. Why two writers? That's really interesting. With Travis Moore on art. So they've sequestered Wonder Woman again. I don't know why DC continually does this. So I'm hoping that there's a plan. But I don't know. Is it just more story driven, or is this an editorial mandate to separate Wonder Woman out from the rest of the universe? Because it says she just woke up in the middle of battle with rampaging hordes of mythological beasts bearing down on her, and she's in Valhalla. What? Yeah, so that's interesting. And then here we have another miniseries, 6-issue miniseries, featuring the Crime Syndicate by Andy Schmidt and Kieran McEwen. That's so here again, a second villain-centric title. But here's the thing. Brian Hitch is doing backup stories for this. In this first issue, it's the origin of Ultraman. So that's a good way to get people like me interested in this. But again, do I really want to read about villains? No, I don't. I want to read about the heroes. And this is another miniseries that I'm very tempted to get, but I probably will wait for the trade if I'm being honest. But this is Superman Red and Blue. It's an anthology miniseries. Presenting fresh new visions of the Man of Steel and his 2 signature colors of red and blue. So that theme stuff is always interesting to me. We got a bunch of different people: John Ridley, Wes Craig, Brandon Easton, Dan Waters, and Marguerite Bennett writing some stories, with art by Clayton Henry, Wes Craig, Steve Lieber, Danny, and Jill Thompson. With, I have to say, the main cover by Gary Frank looks pretty cool. And I'm not the biggest Gary Frank fan, so looks really neat. We do have another Wonder Woman book, which I always feel like Wonder Woman gets short shrift here. And I think I said this before in that Wonder Woman anniversary episode. They really should do. She should have at least 2 books. If Batman can have 1,400, she can have 2. But this is Sensational Wonder Woman. This is a digital first to print book now. So that'll be. I'll have to keep an eye on this. No, I don't have to keep an eye on it. I can just go read it on the DCU app. I forget that I could do that. So, but if I really like it, I will likely get the trade and give it to Madison, my granddaughter, to read. So, and this is something that. Well, no, I'll get to that. I'll get to that. Okay, so I think. Yeah. That's everything from the DC Connect issue that I wanted to spotlight based on the newness, the new factor, where they're going with presentation, price, direction. So there's that. And then there were, like I said, there were some advanced solicitations for April that some new stuff that they are announcing that are coming out in April. So there is a new Green Lantern title. So the series by Grant Morrison and Liam Sharp ends, I think, in March. And so they're coming out with a new Green Lantern series. And what's interesting about that is that, it features, Teen Lantern, who I believe debuted in the Young Justice series, I think. I mean, that's where I first encountered her. So there's that. What else? Yeah. So that is a $4.99 40-page book. But interestingly, it says nothing about a backup. So, is this the first book where we don't get a backup? Is it just because there's that much story that they put into it and we'll get backups in future issues? Or just, some books don't have backups. I don't know. It'd be interesting to find out. I guess I'll have to wait a month to find out. So, there's also a new new Damian Wayne Robin series. That's a $3.99 book. I have no interest in this. I like Damian Wayne. I like him as Robin. I have no interest in this. He has to be the greatest fighter of all, and so he's in this tournament. But I do like the redesigned costume. A lot more gray in it, with some splashes of red and yellow. So that's a little, I think, more evocative of his original suit that he wore when he first showed up in Batman, during the Grant Morrison run. I think, anyway. My memory serves. So there's that. There's a new Batman series called Batman: The Dark Knight by Tom Taylor and Andy Kubert. That's a mini series. And so Batman's in the UK doing something. And then there's another Batman book, The Next Batman: Second Son by John Ridley. Interesting art by Tony Akins, Travel Foreman, and Mark Morales. Oh, this is a digital first miniseries, hence the number of artists. I'm guessing, but this is interesting because when 5G was being talked about, 1400 years ago, before the pandemic, I think there was talk about Tim Fox, son of Lucius Fox, was going to become the new Batman in the 5G universe. And so, but in Future State, so they retooled that. And so, yeah, he is another Batman in the future. And so I guess this is so it says here, what's his origin story for the fact that he becomes the next Batman. So yeah, if you're fans of that, I guess. Just a couple more things. I noticed that there is there are different artists on the Superman books. So, still written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, but then, art by Daniel Sampier on Action and Scott Godlewski on Superman. So what's up with that? Is it just because of the retooling, from 5G to Future State to Infinite Frontier that they had to get a different artists on different books? Is this totally reaching for this one? Is this some sort of tryout to see which artist they want to stick with on these books? I don't know. It's interesting. I'd like to know what's going on there behind the scenes of DC Comics. And I was going to mention this to Travis when he was on the show here with me, but I'll just mention it here anyway. Travis, it's the return of Ambush Bug in Superman number 30. Will that get you to buy Superman number 30? Will it get you, dear listeners, to buy Superman number 30? Do we want more Ambush Bug? I guess is the question. And then finally, this is the other thing I was going to mention earlier, but this is a book that was solicited, and I've already pre-ordered it before Infinite Frontier came out. And that is Truth and Justice, which is another anthology series. Okay, so in the DC Connect, that's Truth and Justice number 2, and in the advanced solicitations I'm looking at is Truth and Justice number 3. So as I recall, Truth and Justice number 1 featured a story about Vixen. Number 3 is about John Constantine, and I don't remember what the number 2, because I've closed the file already, which I should never do that until I'm done recording, but here we are. Okay, number 2 looks like a story about Superman. It's a Superman story. So we get looks like these one-off stories featuring various DC Universe characters, which I'm all for. Give me more of that. In fact, I wish. It looks like it's only one story per issue, but I wish this is where they really need to take advantage of the backup stories and feature different characters, at least 2 different characters, within each issue, because it is a $5 book for 40 pages. So yeah, I'm I'm not sure how many of these I will continue to get, but again, like I said before, I ordered Truth and Justice #1 because it's an anthology series, and I want to show DC that, there's support for this kind of format. So there you go. All right. So Infinite Frontier, those are just the highlights that I wanted to talk about. And I'm really curious, what do you all think about this new publishing initiative from DC Comics? Does it make you want to jump back on? Is it just more meh? Is it this is not my DCU, so screw you? What do you think about the new DCU? I'm actually excited about some of this stuff. Not as excited as I was during Rebirth. For sure. That announcement got me very excited about things. I also bought nearly every issue 1 when the New 52 launched, just because I was curious what this new universe was. The DC universe is something that is near and dear to my comic book reading heart. And, I'm always interested to see what DC has planned and what they are putting out for our entertainment. And so I guess we shall see over the next few months what's going on, what the reaction is, and hopefully I will come back and talk about like a part 2 of this discussion with you, hopefully with Travis though, on the show as well. So we shall see. Anyway, let me know what you think about DC's Infinite Frontier and any of the books that you've been reading relating to that once they come out. And you can always email me that information, that feedback at longboxreview@gmail.com. All right, take care. Be safe. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.